Today we are checking out the biggest vintage toy store I have seen outside of Japan. Welcome to Toy Lair. This place has everything. GUNPLA, retro games, action figures, Sofubi, vinyl, vintage Legos, Warhammer, even Pokemon cards. We are going to dig into it all. This is a big episode, so sit back, relax, and let's dive in. So Toy Lair is located in Richmond, Virginia, about 2 hours south of Washington, D.C. You can see they've got some cool murals on the outside, and we're going to go ahead and take a look inside. And by the way, guys, I of course picked up a little collectible for myself here. If you guys think you know what it is, leave a comment below, but we'll talk about it a bit later in the video. So here you can see they've got this lackluster video. It's like a give a movie, take a movie, which is really cool. And they're really digging into this lair vibe. So they've got this wizard here, just showing you like this is going to be a really unique store for you to come and check out. So as we walk into the main area, you're just going to get a sense of how big this place is. It's absolutely massive, and it's just wall to wall, packed with stuff. So many goodies to look through. It's really incredible and really unique. So starting off here with the GUNPLA section, they've got a nice little selection of GUNPLA, but what I really like about this shop is, unlike a lot of hobby shops that just focus on the Bandai stuff, they have a lot of different brands. They do of course have some Bandai here with this HG Zaku, but they also have some other companies, like they have this Max Factory kit right here, which is really cool, really interesting looking little kit, that Hasty XD. And as you can see over here on the left, they've got some more Max Factory, and as we move up, some Machine and Krieger. So I just really like to see that variety in a store that carries GUNPLA, to just branch out behind besides just Bandai stuff, right? I think that's always really cool. Over here they've got some G-frame kits if that's something that you're interested in, and they've also got some accessories. Like over on the left you have some Gundam markers, and they also have this cute little sushi set. Check this out. I think this is so cute, this little ebi shrimp. I find these unique model kits just really charming. They've got the old school granddad there. And then on the back side, you've got some Transformers at the bottom, as well as some more various Gundam kits, and also some girls kits here. These 30 Minutes Sisters, and some Mega Man kits, some Digimon kits. So a nice little amount of variety of, like I said, Bandai, Kotobukiya, Max Factory, Machine and Krieger, and yeah, that's the kind of variety I really like to see in shops that carry model kits. And moving on quick to this little Transformers section. We're gonna blaze through this because I don't know a ton about Transformers, but what I do know is this shop has an absolute insane amount of vintage Transformers, and a couple of my friends who are more into the Transformers collecting or just being fans of that series have vouched that the selection in this store is just absolutely insane in terms of the vintage stuff that they have. As you can see here, complete in box stuff. They've also got some G.I. Joe stuff if you're into that. And here they've got GoBots. It's just a really, really nice selection. And as we go through these cabinets, you're going to see it's just like figure after figure of a lot of these less common old school Transformers figures. And actually, as we turn the camera in a second and we look at this section over here to the right, you're going to see that we have even more Transformers stuff. So if you're a fan of the series, this is a shop that you have to check it out. So I'm here with Cody from Toy Lair, and so how long has the shop been in business?
We've been open for almost 4 years.
And what made you want to start a vintage toy store?
Oh man, so I was a teacher, and every teacher has to have a second job. My second job was selling action figures. It was awesome. I had a great time doing it. well, I would buy collections and then take what I wanted and then sell what I didn't want or trade what I didn't want. The way it was going, I was like, I think I might try and do something for myself, you know. And so yeah, I opened a shop, and yeah, I guess I haven't looked back.
All right, now we are going to check out the retro game selection at this store, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, this is probably my favorite part of Toy Lair, personally, because the selection that they have for retro games and also the prices, it's insane and really quite unheard of for an in-person shop. You're going to find, as we go through everything, their prices are frequently at or below eBay value, and if you shop for retro games at all in person at real stores, physical stores, you know that often there's a little bit of a markup because they have to cover their overhead and, you know, all of those things, which I don't fault them for. It's just the reality of the business, but you just never see prices like this that are at or below eBay prices in a physical store. So it's like a gold mine, and I almost was like, guys, I don't even want to put this video out because I don't want this store to get like mobbed by people, and you know, all these cool games that I want to pick up for myself, they're all going to be gone. Of course I want Toy Lair, you know, to get business because it's a great shop, but I selfishly just kind of want to keep this stuff to myself. Anyway, so here you can see they've got some VHS. I thought that was cool. Some Miyazaki VHS. They've also got some Sailor Moon on VHS. VHS is something I don't really collect, but I'm always curious about it. I really love the vibe. Some Yu-Gi-Oh here. And also some comic, like Marvel stuff. This Green Goblin, Spider-Man VHS, which I think I might have rented as a kid. And then this one, Samurai Showdown. I didn't even know there was a Samurai Showdown, the motion picture. So that was a fun little find for me, and definitely an anime I want to check out. And you can see here, just looking at this collection, if you follow retro gaming at all, I mean, you guys know these are the classics. They've got like Dot Hack, Parappa, Dark Cloud 2, all this great stuff. Sakura Wars, like all of these classic games or sought after games or more expensive games that you would want. It's really the cream of the crop. A lot of stores you'll find, especially after COVID when retro gaming just had this huge boom, it's like a lot of filler, not that many hits, but they've just got so many hits here. It's awesome. I was especially fond of this Lethal Enforcers complete in box for the Sega CD with a gun. They've got some cool collector's editions here and some Vita stuff. I always love a store that has a nice little Vita selection, and that's not just, you know, the Vita games nobody wants. So they've got some good stuff here. Rayman, Sly Cooper, Danganronpa, Jay Cocoon for the PS1, which is a classic, as well as some Final Fantasy stuff, Grand Theft Auto, Resident Evil, Monster Rancher. Like, just they're loaded with bangers at this shop. It's really, really cool to see. An awesome selection for PSP, complete in box Tetris, which is cool. And over here, some nice Game Boy Advance stuff, as well as Monster Rancher DS, which I kind of want. And some complete in box consoles, including this Star Wars Episode 1 Racer N64, which, guys, I didn't even know that was a bundle. I don't think I've seen that before. And then we're just going to skim through some PS4 and PS5 stuff here. And some OG Xbox, if anybody remembers Blink's The Time Sweeper, a little platformer. Some Genesis, Pac-Man 2. This is a game that I randomly want because I think I played it as a kid on a cruise ship of all places, which is super random, but I kind of want to get that. And you can see here, like, people say, you know, you can't afford to collect and retro game in 2025, but Rebel Strike, that's a classic game for GameCube for $20. So there's definitely stuff you can get. And some of the complete in box and more expensive items behind the glass case, as always. And there's one thing in particular that stuck out to me, if you guys are seeing it, and it's this complete in box Jaguar, which you really rarely see, and it's in nice shape too. So that's pretty cool. And some rare stuff there, Mega Man 6, some rare, or not rare, but just more sought after Super Nintendo games. They've got some N64 stuff, Complete Inbox Smash Bros, which is rad, Banjo-Kazooie, all the classics, Conker's Bad Fur Day. And guys, this blew my mind. We're gonna hold on this for a second because I have never in my life, I'll be honest with you, I've never in my life seen this many Saturn games all in one place. At a shop, at a convention. I don't think I've seen this many like US releases of Saturn games in one place. Freaking crazy. Some Complete Inbox Super Nintendo stuff and some N64 stuff peppered in there, which is cool. But guys, I just could not get over this Saturn stuff, and it was like good games. This is not a wall of sports games. Like, this is all the hits that you would want, like Virtual-On, like everything. It was crazy, crazy, crazy. They've got some strategy guides here, which is cool. And then an awesome selection of video game vinyl, which I've started collecting recently over the years. You've got some Street Fighter there. Not limited to just video games. You can see here they've got Godzilla. So it's like video game soundtracks, anime soundtracks, movie soundtracks, Super Monkey Ball soundtrack. Lots of just fun different stuff. There was this Resident Evil vinyl too, which I thought was really cool. So awesome little video game section at the shop. So what would you say are some of the biggest challenges about running a toy store that specializes in vintage toys?
Yeah, so the biggest part of owning any retail shop is your overhead. Overhead expenses will just eat into everything, and so you got to really play around with how you can cover those costs, and you got to be creative with it. That's definitely the hardest part. And then I would say the second one would be sourcing like cool stuff, just for yourself and the shop and for everybody. Just because I like something doesn't mean everyone's going to like it, and so you really got to hone in on that.
So you guys carry a ton of different stuff. Is there anything that you're really excited about adding to the store in the near future?
Yeah, so now that it's warm outside, because we opened in the new spot in October, and then it got really busy with the holiday season. So definitely doing a lot of aesthetic renovations here, like inside and outside, and just expanding on everything a lot more. More vintage, more modern stuff. More Transformers, more Godzilla, more Gunpla, all this stuff. We're tabletop gaming is a big one, so we're doing Warhammer and Trench Crusade. Those are the two we're doing now. D&D, anything that people want to play. We have an event space in the back, and we had a puppet show. It was awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so just more of everything, basically.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Thanks so much for letting us take a look around.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Alright, so now we are getting into the toys and collectibles, which is definitely the bread and butter of the shop. We're starting off with some wrestling stuff, lots of vintage wrestling figures here if you're a fan of that. And then you're going to see, we're just going to hop from category to category. Here you've got some more unique items here, some indie toys, some custom stuff it looks like. I'm not too up to speed on all of this, but that's what it looks like to me. And then we're going to hop over again, and you've got all of this vintage Star Wars stuff. So lots of vintage Star Wars toys on card and loose. Some of the bigger stuff there, some different ships and things like that. If you're a fan of vintage Star Wars, like, there's something here for you. It's awesome. Over here you have your superhero stuff. So your Marvel, your DC, all that stuff. Lots of action figures there to go through. And then hopping over, and we start to get into the Japanese stuff. So your anime figures, your Q-Pos kit, all of those little ST chibi figures. They've got some nicer Dragon Ball figures here. I love these little Goku ones. Just, you guys know I'm a huge fan of Dragon Ball and Goku. And moving on, you've got more anime figures. So they have this whole spectrum of like every type of toy or figure collecting, no matter what genre you're into. They have something here for you, which is so rare. And as I was thinking about it, you guys know I did some shops of Mandarake in Japan, and this shop really reminds me of Mandarake because of how vast the merchandise is, like all these different categories. They have GUNPLA and all these different figures and plushies and just like anything you could want in the collectibles world. I feel like Toy Lair has it. Here they have this awesome Sofubi shelf, lots of rare and vintage Godzilla stuff, which is really cool, or just any kind of giant monster stuff is going to be in this cabinet here. Again, this is part of what reminded me of Mandarake, because that's kind of their specialty if you've been to those shops in Japan. Really cool. And then moving over, you've got some more mecha stuff. These are going to be more action figures versus model kits, but some nice selection of Eva stuff, like this on-card Eva action figure, which is super cool. Never seen that one before in person. And this nice bigger Eva figure, some Digimon stuff, and then just some different, Super Sentai stuff, some Persona figures, which are also really awesome. I love Persona. And then just some more various figures and a ton of Dragon Ball stuff over here, which I thought was nice. I also like when shops will curate, like, here's this little section for this one show or this one series. I think that's fun. And guys, this is also, I keep getting so hyped up, but this is one of my other favorite things about this shop, because I've never seen a store before, and maybe I'm sleeping on it, that has this much vintage Lego or specializes in vintage Lego in person. I know there's a lot of eBay shops, but I've just never seen one in person, and I thought it was so freaking cool. Seeing all of these Lego sets from my childhood just like right here for me to grab and think about buying. I didn't buy anything at this time, but God, I loved those Aquanauts. I really loved like underwater stuff as a kid, and so those Aquanaut sets, I had a ton of them when I was little. Several of these actually, and I would love to just, I don't know, put one together and put it on a shelf somewhere in my house. I think that would be so fun. And these Insectoids ones, to me, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I just really loved this whole era of like original Lego properties when they had like their own lore, their own mythology before it became all licensed stuff. The licensed stuff is fine. The Nintendo stuff's cool. The Marvel stuff's cool, but I like this unique, interesting, kind of weird world that Lego made for themselves with Bionicle and Aquanauts and Insectoids and all these different universes. I think there's just something really special about that era. It felt very creatively fresh, so super cool. And as we turn, this is not all of it, you guys. As we turn, there's a huge other section of vintage Lego here, starting with the Star Wars stuff, and then it kind of skips forward in time to newer sets, but all the sets are marked as if they're complete. I think most of them are complete, and that they are retired is what they're called. They've got this cool diorama down there too, which I'm gonna zoom in on in a sec. Nice little diorama. I always think it's fun when stores have little display pieces like this to give you a sense of, how you could display it in your home or something like that. I just think it's super fun. And then moving on to more recent stuff, and this is more the licensed stuff, the Marvel Infinity Saga, the Batman stuff, Harry Potter, which, again, if that's your jam, if you love that franchise, like, I say enjoy yourself, have fun, like, collect what you want, but I love that old school stuff. And this is really unique. So another just unique element of this store is they have this whole street art section, which has custom toys that are designed in this sort of street art flavor, and they're all done by, I believe it's all one artist, and it's all just handmade, unique, one-of-a-kind pieces. And there's also some other things like zines and whatnot, just lots of on canvas art. It's just a really unique kind of angle for a toy store to have. I've never seen it before, and it was super cool. It felt like something that would be more in an art gallery, but it's super welcome to me. I find this kind of stuff just really cool. And they've also got some custom t-shirts and sweatshirts. Speaking of the artistry, these look like they're handmade, one of a kind. I didn't actually ask Cody the backstory on these, but they look like unique, handmade, one of a kind shirts that focus on different themes. Some of them are mismatched, like this one is like Evangelion and Pokemon mixed together, but they have a super cool vibe. And now we're just getting into some like miscellaneous displays. You can see here all different kinds of stuff from Simpsons to Aliens, just different pop culture stuff, Lord of the Rings, Ghostbusters, Voltron. Like, I could just go on and on and on and on. They have so much stuff in the store. I'm not even kidding. You could look here like actually for 12 hours and not see everything, like just all day. Just so much variety. And what's fun for me about this shop is seeing things that I didn't know existed. And that's kind of the fun for branching out of the hobbies that you're super knowledgeable about, like GUNPLA or retro gaming, and checking out other stuff like action figures for me where I'm not as knowledgeable. So it has this fun kind of mystery and excitement of discovery. It just makes it so enjoyable to browse a shop like this. Some vintage Power Rangers stuff from back in the 90s. Very, very cool. Seeing that old logo. Some Stargate. And here you've got some, I can see some Digimon figures in there, as well as a few other figures. I don't quite know what those are. And some Nendroid type stuff. Those little chibi figures. Some trolls. Like literally, I feel like I'm just like naming franchise after franchise after franchise. They've just got, yeah, so much stuff. So much stuff. It's really cool. And here you've got some Masters of the Universe stuff. Lots of figures down in those glass cases below. Some Godzilla over there. Yeah, this is all that He-Man, Masters of the Universe type stuff, which is a little bit before my time, but very cool. Some Turtles, some Ninja Turtles, some more Godzilla, some little Eva figures right here. And Demon Slayer, a nice dedicated cabinet of Demon Slayer stuff, which I thought was really rad. Some Naruto, some more Gundam with that Death Scythe figure there. Really cool anime cabinet. Love seeing that. And then stepping into the Warhammer. So yes, like Cody was saying, they do have a nice little focus on wargaming. They have some events here. And you can see they've got a nice little selection of Warhammer to pick up. And they have a second display as well over here where they've got some paint supplies, some terrain supplies, as well as more kits down here below. Some spray paints. Really, really cool. And I love that old Warhammer. I know 40K is more popular, but I love these old school Warhammer boxes with these like old photographs. It reminds me of those old Hobby Japan magazines that you guys know I love. And yeah, just showing you some of the paints here and some glue and things of that nature. And then again, another category with the Pokemon cards. So yes, it's like if all of this stuff that they had was not enough, they also have Pokemon cards. Admittedly, it's not the most extensive selection. I do believe I heard Cody saying that they're looking to maybe expand that a little bit, but they do have a nice selection of Pokemon cards, some binders, some graded cards, as you can see here, and a few other toys. I actually picked up one of these. These are vintage. These are the Chinese variety, but they are official, I believe. Those old school Pokemon figures, they were by Tomy and also Aldley, I think is how you pronounce it. So I picked up one of those Pikachus. And then there's another cabinet here I wanted to share, and these are also indie toys. They're made by an artist. They are figures, and they're all super unique looking. These super unique, like post-apocalyptic. I actually thought they were so detailed. I thought they were custom, like one of a kind, but they're not. You can actually buy them. They're all made by this one artist. Over here, you can see the boxes. And yeah, they kind of have that Machine and Krieger kind of vibe to those boxes. I like it. This minimalist kind of stylish box art. Very cool. And yeah, you guys, that is Toy Lair. So much freaking stuff. I know this was a long video, but I just had to share this shop with you because it just, I don't know. I really love it, and I wish there were more stores like this, and unfortunately they're quite rare. So yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I would love to hear below if you know of any more shops like this I should go check out. anywhere along the East Coast, I would love to travel and check out some more shops for you guys. So definitely let me know down below, and also let me know what your favorite thing you saw in this shop was. I'd really love to hear from you guys. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, consider hitting that subscribe button. It really helps the channel. Also consider becoming a channel member. It's really, really affordable, and you get at least one exclusive video per month in the member section, and some also additional exclusive posts and things like that. And you can also come hang out with us in our Discord, where we talk about all things collectibles, anime, retro games, Gunpla, all that kind of fun stuff. We talk about it there in our Discord, so definitely come hang out. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me, and I'll catch you all in the next video. All right, bye.